Another 30-minute meal today. This pasta has a thick, creamy, lemony sauce and is topped with sweet and tangy balsamic roasted tomatoes and pesto-coated tofu and garbanzo beans. Makes enough for about 2 if served by itself or 4 when served with a side. To start, you're going to preheat your oven to 425 Fahrenheit and put your water on the stove to start to boil. While the water is heating, you're going to get the tomatoes, tofu, and beans in the oven to roast. For the pesto tofu, you'll start by cutting up a block of extra firm tofu that has been pressed or a block of super firm tofu. You can cut it into these little triangles like this by cutting the block in half down the middle, then in half on its side, and half again into little squares, and then diagonally across like this. Or you can cut up into little bite-sized cubes, whatever you like here. Now, add these tofu pieces along with a can of drained and rinsed garbanzo beans to a parchment-lined sheet pan. You'll add a 1/4 cup of pesto, jarred or homemade, whatever you prefer. This one I have is a jarred, dairy-free one from the pasta aisle at the grocery store. And now add 1 tablespoon of oil to help loosen up the pesto so that you can coat the tofu and beans easier. Using your hands, gently mix everything together to really coat the pieces in the pesto. Now spread that in an even layer and pop it into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until the beans begin to dry out and the tofu will just begin to get browned on the edges. Now you'll prepare the tomatoes and get those going in the oven. Add a pint of cherry tomatoes to a second parchment-lined baking sheet and drizzle with 2 teaspoons of oil, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, a half teaspoon of oregano, a pinch of salt, and a healthy dusting of black pepper. Mix everything together like this to coat the tomatoes. These can be roasted in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until the tomatoes begin to burst and deflate a bit. If your pasta water is boiling at this point, you can add your pasta and cook it according to package directions. While that's boiling away and the tofu and tomatoes are cooking away in the oven, you can blend up the lemon cashew sauce. To the pitcher of your blender, you'll add a half cup of cashews, 3/4 cup of water, the zest and juice of 1 to 2 lemons. This lemon was absolutely enormous, so 1 was plenty, but you'll want about a half cup of lemon juice, so use 2 if necessary to get to that. Then add a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast and 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. These are on the smaller side, so I used 2. Now blend on high until completely smooth. It will be quite runny like you see here. It will probably look too watery for a sauce, but we will cook it up very briefly on the stove before coating the pasta, and it will thicken up considerably like you'll see in a moment. Now set this aside as the pasta finishes cooking. I'd recommend grabbing a mug or cup full of pasta water before draining in case you need to thin the sauce out. If you forget like I did, it's no big deal, and you can just use a little splash of regular old non-pasta water to thin the sauce out if needed. Now drain that pasta out, return the empty pot to the stove, and add the blended sauce to the pot. Bring this to a light boil over medium-high heat and stir it for about a minute. It will very quickly thicken up like you see here. Once it gets to this point, you can add your pasta back in and give it a quick stir to combine. Season with salt and pepper if desired, and thin it out with some of that reserved pasta water, or regular water, if it thickens up too much. At some point around now, your timer for the tofu, beans, and tomatoes should be going off. They'll look like this when they come out of the oven. That extra balsamic on the bottom of the tomatoes adds extra bursts of flavor. And some of the edges of the tofu are just beginning to turn a light golden brown. And just watch yourself for any beans that may pop or explode right when you take them out of the hot oven. Seriously, look out. Now serve up the pasta in some bowls or plates and top it with the balsamic tomatoes and pesto-coated tofu and garbanzos. Each of these components, the pasta, tomatoes, and tofu and beans, can be made on their own. But they complement each other nicely here and really round out the meal. These tomatoes are excellent too as a side, on a sandwich, or atop a salad. If you don't want to make all 3 things, you could swap out the pasta for a protein pasta and just make the lemon noodles and balsamic roasted tomatoes and still have a very filling meal. As always, I really hope you enjoy this. Let me know if you try it, and figuratively, metaphorically, abstractly, let's eat together.